Hey, this shocked me. I saw this in the paper. According to just one hiring platform in New Zealand, in just one quarter of 2024, 14 million job applications. Now, this is in a country of less than 6 million people. 14 million job seeker applications were completely ignored in a single quarter last year. Couldn't even be bothered saying, thanks for your application. People are left hanging. They don't know if their application has been received, let alone shortlisted. Their lives depend on a positive result to this, and it's very difficult to move on when I suppose they're not even getting the courtesy of that. Some sites are saying, hey, let's shine a torch on this one. Let's make some of these hiring companies a little bit more accountable for some common courtesy. Why don't you get the perspective of Tom O'Neill from cv.co.nz. Tom, kia ora, good morning. So nice to see you again.
Morena, dear friend. Lovely to be back.
It's heartbreaking, really, when you think of this 14 million applications, which, I mean, that is a very big number. For one quarter of last year, did not even receive an automated thank you for your application, we'll get back to you if you're successful. That seems like bad form, but honestly, Tom, you've been on both sides of this equation.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible because, you're dealing with people's dreams and hopes, and, they think hard about the job, they work hard on the CV and cover letter, hopefully, to apply for the role, and then nothing, just ghosted.
Yep.
And it's like, how is this possible in today's society, with automation, all these sort of things? And really, the problem is when you're dealing with a recruiter, for example, a recruiter may have 500 applicants for a job. Right now, you think about this, they're going to have probably 10 jobs on the go. So suddenly, let's say this week, they've got 5,000 CVs potentially come in.
Yep.
Of each of those jobs are going to interview 5 people. So there's 50 interviews they're going to do in the next couple of weeks. So therefore, was it 4,950 people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Now the recruiter's got 2 options. Option 1, send an email out saying, look, I'm really sorry, thank you for applying, and you've been unsuccessful, wish you all the best. Or option 2, say nothing.
Yeah.
Now the problem is if they do the first, they're going to get, half of those people, 2,000 odd people, emailing them and phoning them saying, why wasn't I successful for an interview? This is my dream job. This is, da-da-da. And so just from the pure numbers, it's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
To some degree, you can get angry at recruiters, but at the same time, they're not being paid to be nice to the other 4,950 people.
Yep.
They're being paid by the client. Therefore, they need to do what's right for the client, not for the product, which unfortunately is us.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. Honestly, sometimes it's difficult to have empathy for people when so much harm is being done by just the lack of a courtesy. Because honestly, Tom, if you're on holiday and I email you, a bot tells me that you're on holiday and tells me what time you can be done. You can set that up. So even the pure courtesy of everybody that applies gets a instant return email saying, hey, thank you for your application. We have had a higher volume of applicants than we expected. We will get back in touch with those who we wish to shortlist, but to all of you, thank you for your application. That takes 5 minutes to set up, and it does not destroy anybody's life. I get it that some people then want to have an ongoing relationship where they say, hey, why didn't I get the job? My mum said I was good at it, and all those sorts of things. But actually, yes, recruitment firms aren't paid to be nice to everybody. But actually, given the pain caused by people putting themselves out there, the misery that's caused by a recruitment process where you're getting knockback after knockback, it almost gets to a self-fulfilling point where you go, actually, I'm not even worth a return email, and it just sucks the life out of you, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Absolutely. It's horrific.
Yep.
It really is. And at the absolute absolute minimum, there should be a thank you for your application, exactly as you said.
Yep.
Historically, people would come back to individuals because there was a lot more process involved. You had to, post a letter or something, in the old days.
Yep.
And so there was a little bit more courtesy. But as you can imagine, now it's just a number in a machine. And
Yep.
the problem is, if you're selling tyres, the tyre doesn't get disappointed, it didn't get the job, but you're selling recruiters and HR people, they're dealing with humans as if they're products. And that's the really, really hard thing. They're treating people as if they're just a number. And the problem is, when you've got 5,000 people roll in now Monday, very hard to not treat them as a number.
No, I understand that. I understand there's also a little bit of pushback from some organisations, LinkedIn and others, to say we're quite happy to name and shame because some recruitment organisations have better practice than others, that there are some that are doing the right thing, that are going the extra mile, and others that are just going, oh, why should we be bothered? We're not paying to be nice to the rejects. And actually for LinkedIn to be able to say, you know what? We're going to name and shame here. We're going to name the organisations where you're likely to get a response from. So if you're applying to some of these other guys, perhaps lower your expectations because they're not about being nice to people. Is that fair?
Yeah, look, that's. I think it's wonderful. LinkedIn have a range of different badges, and some other ones, Glassdoor, and they've got different badges signifying different things. And again, it just gives a bit of an indication, I think, in terms of the human metric. How well they treat people in the recruitment process. Because you'd think that if someone's going to treat you with some sense of dignity in the recruitment process, they're going to treat you with more dignity in the organisation. If they treat you as disposable, just to get in the door, what's it going to be like in there? So in some respects, it's a real indicator of employee culture and how far an organisation is prepared to go, even with the people that are not going to work there. Because I see it time and again where organisations, do this and it damages their brand. If you're applying for a banking job in a bank and you get a rude email or no email, you're now looking for a bank. You're not going to go to that one. And this is the thing: recruiters and HR people are causing brand damage that the marketers on the other end can't fix.
And I suppose there's seasons for this at the moment. At the moment, we're in a season where even good, qualified people with lots of experience are finding it difficult to get work in some sectors. However, within living memory, we've had the reverse of that situation where recruitment agencies are fighting over the right people. I suppose be careful whose toes you step on. Be careful what sort of reputational damage you do in this season, because when in this situation, which is very likely, hopefully, in the not too far future, that this situation will be reversed, and the shoe will be on the other foot, Tom.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about not burning bridges. Very easy to get frustrated with a recruiter or an HR manager and just tell them exactly what you think. The problem is these people have long memories. When another CV comes on in a week later, 2 weeks later, 6 months, a year later, depending on the brand damage of the individual, it can totally stop any chance of employment. So again, it's just making sure you're treating this with a lot of prayer, a lot of hope, a lot of integrity, and a lot of dignity both ways, because it's just a soul-destroying process in many, many respects. In the old days, you would send a letter, and now the de rigueur, the standard is only those who we will, look to interview, we will contact. And I just find that shocking. But it's just happened. It's what it is now.
This is the reality we live in. And just finally on this one, Tom, given that I suppose the goalposts have changed, for people looking for work at the moment, should we lower our expectations? Should we go, hey, actually, I'm going to send out a lot of applications, I'm going to put my heart and soul into this, but I'm just going to lower my expectations on whether or not I even get a reply, because this is what's happening in the world at the moment. And if that crushes me too much, I'm not going to have the energy to apply for the next job.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, your CV is your brochure.
Yep.
The more places you have your brochure, the more people can purchase that product, i.e. hire you. I hate saying it like that, but it's just how it is. Therefore, it's about getting past that personal pain, getting past that rejection, and just relentlessly getting out there. The more CVs in the marketplace, the higher the chance you'll get a role. It's as simple as that. But again, it's just making sure that you maybe have a couple of tiers. You've got your career level, that you know the roles you should be going for, and so on. And then depending on your financial situation, if you're unemployed and things are tough, I would also have a secondary level. Roles that are not flash, maybe embarrassing to tell your friends, but they're the ones that bring money in the door. Now, obviously, they're the stopgap. That's a job you do for 2 months, 3 months, while you're firing out CVs for your standard career role. But if that's what it takes, it's just got to be done.
Yeah, hey, I very much appreciate your wisdom and insight. I know you've supported so many people through this particular process. cv.co.nz for people that perhaps do need a little bit of encouragement or a nudge in the right direction on this one. Tom, thanks for what you do. Thanks for your wisdom and input. Thanks for joining us.
A real pleasure, mate. God bless.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.